but because thou art compassionate, purify me by the compassion of thy mercies.
Hello, Antiochian men. This is Michael Bachlig once again with another interview for our YouTube channel for the Antiochian men. And I have with me Sam Cox here from All Saints Antiochian Orthodox Church. And he is with us here at the Winter Retreat in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was very glad to see that on the schedule he will be screening his film that he created, New Men, the title of a brand new documentary, which is about a monastery that is up in our diocese. It's in our diocese, isn't it? The monastery.
I guess geographically, yeah, but it's Rocor.
Oh, it's a Rocor?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the name of the monastery that you visited?
Yeah, it's called Hermitage of the Holy Cross.
Wonderful. So we are going to talk a little bit about that documentary with Sam, and again, very grateful for you to be with us today. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So please tell us, first of all, how did you get into filmmaking? Did that come first? Was that a passion of yours, or what's your history with that?
Yeah, so I went to design school at NC State University in my hometown, and did a little bit of video stuff there. But I was doing the graphic design program, so I was really focused on that. But had always kind of been interested in film and video, just as a medium. So I graduated and had been working for, 7 or 8 years, and wanted to just expand the kind of range of mediums that I was working with, and I wanted to do something that was kind of beyond just commercial creative work, and do something that was kind of around the ideas or topics that I was interested in learning about. So I took a class at the Duke Center for Documentary Studies. It was just it was like 4 or 5 weeks, just called the 5-minute documentary, and that was about 4 years ago. Made a short film there about a church I was visiting, All Saints Antiochian Church. I just loved it, and the video turned out really well. I was like, people want to watch this, and this is meaningful. So that's kind of how I got started.
That's great.
Yeah.
I read an interview that you did where you actually said that you converted to Orthodoxy during the process of making this film.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, when I read that, I thought that was fascinating because you went to a monastery and were interacting with monastics that are living the faith, the Orthodox faith, in a monastic way, which is, you could say, an extreme compared to the laity in the world, where we don't have Divine Liturgy every day. We don't have as many services that we can attend because we have jobs in the world, right?
Yeah.
Would you talk a little bit about what was that experience like, visiting a monastery, and how did that inform your catechism?
Yeah, I think that I've always been interested in extremes. Like, if I get into something, I really get into it and want to.
I can relate to you there.
Yeah, I want to explore what is this, who are the people who are taking this to the next level,
right?
Kind of, whether it's just sports or design or I guess in this case spirituality and prayer, and I think that I wanted to become Orthodox, but I for some reason I just couldn't bring myself to actually do it. But then going to the monastery and seeing people who had just devoted themselves to the life of the church and to prayer, kind of 100%. It was just really inspiring and beautiful. And I think that is what, just seeing the beauty of the Orthodox faith lived out in a very rich and full way was just something I wanted to be a part of, and I think a lot of the kind of mystical aspects that are maybe hard to grasp, or you can kind of start to feel those at a place like the Hermitage of the Holy Cross, or kind of hopefully any monastery allows us to like go and see that reality a little bit clearer that maybe we don't always see in the world because we're just surrounded by, you know, noise.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very important in my just like getting to that point of being like, yeah, okay, I want to be a part of this.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I have another question. Since you spent, I believe, quite a bit of time at the monastery, it wasn't like you just went in for a weekend and filmed and you were done.
Yeah.
How long did you spend there?
I think I did about 14 different trips just filming or visiting to work on it, which, I mean, that's fairly inefficient. But it was also like part of, I just wanted to be there and learn about the Orthodox
Over
faith.
how long were you making those trips? What period of time?
About a year and a half was kind of production. I think I spent, like in total, probably spent 3 months there, just like at the monastery.
You spent a lot of time, and that's such an important part of doing great film work is spending the time and understanding the environment, the atmosphere, everything about the culture, especially in a monastery. It's a very different environment than what we're used to in the world. One thing that I think is misunderstood, and I was hoping you would talk about, the role of monastics, the role of monks. A lot of times people have told me, oh, it just seems they want to escape the world or escape into a monastery. And I wonder, what is, after spending 3 months of your life there, what's your perspective on what the role of the monastics are for the church?
Ooh, that's like a question way above my pay grade. Yeah, so I mean, in the film, Father Gabriel talks a little bit about that. I think probably the best way I could answer that would be like quoting a monk.
Yeah, please do.
And he says that people do think of monastics as being people who want to escape or avoid something. And also another one of the monks in the film talks about when you go there, you're not escaping anything. It's like the things that you don't like about yourself or your life become amplified. In a monastic setting, like if you, whatever, all the trouble you have getting along with your family, or like if you've had, I don't know, like failed relationships or something, like you're going to have to deal with those there.
Yeah.
So, you know, people might go to a monastery to escape, but they're probably going to get weeded out or have to change, you know, at some point in that journey.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing your film. We're going to be watching it here this evening. I know you've been working on it for quite some time, and there's a lot of work that goes into creating a film such as this, especially a documentary. You want to make sure that you get it right. When will it be released, and how can people get a copy of it for themselves if they'd like to?
So it's going to be released on April 23rd, 2020, so that week after Pascha. You can go to newmendoc, so newmendoc.com. Okay. Just subscribe for updates there. And then ultimately it's going to be on Vimeo on demand for renting or purchasing. And then God willing, you'll be able to buy physical DVDs, hopefully from the monastery.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Can you repeat the website one more time, and we'll add that to the description of the video?
Sure. www.newmendoc.com.
Okay, so newmendoc, which is doc.com.
Yep.
And anyone that's interested can get updates by going to that website and signing up.
Yep.
And then it should be available, you said, on Vimeo, and that will be in the updates as far as when.
Yeah. I'm going to send that out to everyone. You know.
That's great. One final question for you. What was your biggest takeaway, or one or two takeaways for you personally after having completed this project, and especially what you learned in not just creating the film, but in what you're putting forth in the film? What were your biggest takeaways?
Yeah, I think as far as the creativity of it, just was so much work, and making a documentary is if you knew how much work was going to go into it before you started, you probably wouldn't do it. So, but now I think it's kind of the benefits or the fruit of that labor is starting to come about, and I can see people being impacted by the film or really excited about it. And so I'm like, okay, all of that was worth it. So that was just like a huge creative takeaway. It's like just persevere. And I mean, spiritually, yeah, I kind of made me want to become Orthodox, and I guess editing it, getting to spend so much time with the materials and like just listening to those interviews and watching the services, it's like, I feel like I was there more than I was. Right. The spiritual benefits I think can come through the film, hopefully too.
That's one thing that you and I share in common, because in even just the simple YouTube videos that we're creating, the many hours that go into editing, you're revisiting the experience. You're making it even more a part of yourself, and you're remembering even better what you experienced when you were there in repetition, and it becomes part of you.
Yeah.
And that's something that I can relate to, and it's a beautiful element to being a filmmaker. I wouldn't necessarily call myself one. Maybe I'm an aspiring filmmaker, but my hat's off to you, and thank you for the work that you did. We're looking forward to seeing you here at the Winter Retreat here at St. Elias, and I'm sure there are many people that will enjoy it once it is finally released in April, so we all look forward to that. And thank you, Sam Cox, for sitting down for this interview. To all Antiochian men, stay tuned for more interviews here on our YouTube channel. As always, subscribe to us. Make sure you hit that little bell icon at the top of the page, and make sure you also like these videos if you like what you're seeing. We do appreciate you following us and watching these interviews, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Prepare for me the ways of salvation, O Theotokos, for I have profaned my whole life with procrastination. But by thine intercessions, purify thou